Hello everyone, I'm Zahid from Talks at Innovation Valley, and today we have very amazing guest with us, Mike Chauhan, who is the country manager at inDrive. You know, inDrive is the ride-sharing company. So first of all, I really warm welcome to you, Mike Chauhan, to the show.
Thank you for having me on, Zahid. It's a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to have a chat with you as well today in your
You're
podcast.
welcome. And our today's topic is business development in IT and service industry. So, Mike, before we jump to the questions, I would love you to tell our audience about your personal story. I mean, from where you got your schooling and higher education, from where you started your professional journey and entrepreneurial journey, how you got here where you are today, how was all your things, and what were the challenges, and how you tackled your story.
Yeah, sure. So to start off with, in the beginning, so I completed a Bachelor of E-Business at a university called Macquarie University. That kind of gave me the insight in regards to understanding how businesses pretty much work, more so from an IT perspective, as it was a combination between IT, information technology, and also business development as well. So it was able for me to create the basis and a basic understanding in terms of what it takes to sell a product, but also understanding the technological needs behind it as well, and what it actually takes to develop a business or an application or a service in that sense. From there, after finishing uni, I actually opened up my own business. My parents has been in the hospitality industry for quite some time, so I kind of took a chapter from their book and decided to open up my own Mexican food store. From that, that further developed my knowledge and understanding of operating a business, to dealing and maintaining pretty much everything by myself. It helped me build the confidence and understanding and knowledge on the basic foundations of running a business, what the challenges can be, and those being that within my business, at times, you are expected to have failure. But that's where you see the biggest opportunity to acknowledge, understand, and grow from that. And from that, it was able for me to make my business very successful. And then from that, I decided to step out of having my own business and move into the corporate world. While joining the corporate world, my first job actually was with a fintech company called Inovia Payments. They've changed their name now. But from in that, I was able to understand e-solutions and e-payments and pretty much like FPOS terminals. And that kind of incorporated me into the world of actually speaking with a large clientele base to understand the corporate lingo as well, and actually how to communicate with people on a high level. I did that job for I think roughly around 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and that's when Uber approached me in regards to working with them. So after leaving Inovia Payments, I joined Uber, more specifically Uber Eats. So I was in the sales team there as an account exec. Within that, my territory, my main role was to launch or to bring businesses onto the Uber Eats platform and to sell that platform to a lot of businesses, small to medium businesses within all across Australia. Within that, obviously, it's difficult working for a large brand, say for example, like Uber. Reason being is because it's in a sense it's a company where people want to join but are scared of what that actually means. And from that, there were challenges brought about in regards to actually convincing people to join the platform and whatnot. But from that, I developed my skills in regards to communicating with people. There was more of a fine term of understanding people's pain points and then providing a solution to them. And from that, that developed my skills and my career growth in regards to moving into the launch team. So uh, after being an account exec for quite some time, for about a year, I think, I moved to the launch team where I was able to launch Uber Eats within various cities across Australia and New Zealand as well. And that's when I got a good understanding and concept of what it actually is like from a corporate perspective in regards to launching a business within a new area which no one is familiar with. In that, there's obviously a lot of challenges in regards to people not trusting the brand, people not sure whether it's the right approach or not. Obviously, there's that fan basis in regards to what Uber represents at that time. So from my own personal experience, there were some difficulties, but uh, with challenges, I strive quite well in regards to finding an opportunity and presenting a solution. And that was evidently done through Uber Eats launching within, say, for example, like I launched New Zealand, in Queenstown. I launched parts of Melbourne, parts of Perth, parts of Adelaide, parts of Sydney. And from that, we saw growth and development as well. Working at Uber for nearly 3 years, I decided to take a different approach. I'm still staying within the hospitality industry. I decided to move to a procurement company called Food by Us. This company more so was providing a solution to businesses due in regards to the supply needs. So it was pretty much one-stop shop in a sense where businesses were able to connect with multiple suppliers and purchase goods through that single platform. This was a client-facing job as well. In a sense, this was also another opportunity for me to understand in depth in regards to really diving deep in regards to the pain points that clients usually face, understanding their side of the story and trying to work with them and create a solution in regards to how we can help them better the business, speed up the process, and provide more efficiency and cost saving methods. Um, and I did that job for about close to a year. And then I moved to my current role, which is the country manager at inDrive. While moving at inDrive, before I decided to make the move, obviously for me, it was more about understanding the product, understanding the company, and finding out if this is the right fit for me. The thing that stood out the most is, I guess, the uniqueness in regards to the product. I obviously the Australian community in general is very used to a single type of rideshare platform, and that found basis is spread across many competitors within the current industry. But understanding inDrive's uniqueness, fairness, and transparency as well, that's what pretty much sold me in regards to joining the company. And since then, we've launched, being the country manager in Drive, we've launched 3 cities, Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne as well. And that in itself obviously brings its challenges, bringing a new unique product into the market. But I can say that up to now, it's been an immense pleasure working with this company, and I can't wait to see how further we can go with this company and bring a new product and a new light into Australia with the uniqueness and the fairness and transparency that inDrive offers.
Right, amazing story, Mike. So, when we talk on business development, Mike, how do you differentiate between business development and sales and marketing? These are seems like the same terminologies, or sometimes seems that is the same job. So, how do you differentiate among these?
So they can be differentiated, but in more so they play along with one another. Meaning, like you need marketing to create the sales, and you need business development to create that marketing pitch as well. Um, it is in a sense difficult to kind of separate or differentiate the three because all three purely heavily rely on each other to create a product and a solution that is well suited and benefit towards the market. It's more so about, I'd say personally, understanding that your market that you're selling in, understand exactly what customers are looking for, and then based upon that, strategize and create a plan that's best suited towards your audience's needs. And then from that, derive in terms of what marketing strategies you need to put in place and what business developments you need to put in place. Then once you have those two foundations, then work on regards to how you can actually sell that pitch and how you can sell that product based on the research, the marketing that you've done, and the business development to show the advancements of the product that you're selling or the service that you're selling and promote that into the community or audience that you're selling to.
Right. And as a Mike, as a country manager, what is your core responsibility? I mean, are you just responsible for the sales and business growth, or are you responsible for everything? And being the country manager, what challenges do you face as a role, and how do you tackle?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So my role on a daily basis is pretty much the growth and development of the business in itself while also managing the team. I work with various sectors within the business to ensure that all of us align on the same page, that all of us have the same goal, which is to grow and develop inDrive within the Australian community. So I work, say, for example, with our support team. I work with our development team, the marketing team. I help with the business development aspect of it as well. We closely work with our drivers and passengers as well to grow and develop the app. We also work very closely with our regulators as well. So within every different state, there are certain rules and regulations that every rideshare provider has to work alongside with. And we have a close connection with all our regulators as well to ensure that we provide that safety and that trust and reliability to our clients. And in addition to that, I guess the challenges of being the country manager is there are a lot of aspects within this role in particular where there are certain requirements that need to be met. Me personally, I like to strive for the best. I want to ensure that no matter what job I do, no matter what role I work in, that I will put my utmost best effort in to ensure that the company does well. And during that, the best times that I guess strive or seek greatness in that sense is when there's a challenge or when something planned hasn't gone to plan in that sense. Where obviously within any company or any role, there's always going to be some sort of failure, whether that might be um, what you have a task and you haven't met that certain task, it wasn't done to a great degree, or you have a goal and you haven't reached that goal, or you release a product or idea and unfortunately that hasn't done well. But from that, for me personally, that's where I fully deep dive into what went wrong, what could have done differently, and take learning growth from it. And then from that, within my next approach, really push and strive in regards to creating a new idea, understanding my failures previously, and then creating a strategy and an idea that works well and that's well situated towards the market and our business goals as well.
Right. Mike, when we talk on business development, you know that there are different sectors. For example, you're working in ride sharing company, and this is a kind of, tech sector or IT sector, you could say, service sector. But there is another sector, like retail sector. So when we talk on business development, does it matter that if you're working in a retail sector, then the business development will be differently, and if you're working in IT or service sector, then business development will be differently, or in general the principles are same for the business development?
Um, Look, I mean, at a high level, there is some differentiation in regards to working in retail, and obviously, say for example, in IT and service in that sense. The thing is, with IT and technology in general, that industry in particular is growing very quickly. Um, where the retail, in a sense, is still at a steady growth, but isn't as rapidly growing as the IT and service industry. However, in saying that, though, the main basis and the understanding of business development can be used and spread across the wide industry, regardless of whatever sector or service that you're working. It's always the main principles in regards to understanding and growing a business and the right and correct method, which applies to all sectors, which is the main core, and I think which any person can use once they gain that understanding as well.
Mike, what are some strategies in general to be the market leader in your industry, no matter if you are a startup, if you're a company, if you are an owner, whatever?
within the rideshare industry in general. So recently, the rideshare industry has been under a microscope within the media due to pricing as well. And there's a fine balance in regards to understanding both driver and passenger needs. And this is obviously becoming a big struggle. This is generally within Australia, where I guess a lot of other organizations out there within this market space have had, in a sense, a lot of media attention due to their pricing or due to the way they operate. With us, say for example, with inDrive, I think the best way that we stay competitive and I guess ahead of one another is due to the fairness and transparency that we provide. But in addition to that, we provide a human element, like a human touch, where we actually communicate with our drivers, we communicate with our passengers, we understand their pain points, we take their feedback on board, and then develop and work on our application, on our solution, on the idea that we created by providing a fair solution to everyone. In addition to that, our application doesn't rely on algorithms that a lot of other companies within this sector use, specifically within Australia. We allow our passengers and drivers to negotiate directly with one another, providing full transparency and allowing them to take control of the matter in hand in regards to using a rideshare services. Unfortunately, within this day and age, due to high inflation, due to high prices, rideshare services becoming something that at times is unaffordable. And that's a shame because we want to ensure with inDrive that we make this service available to everyone, regardless of whatever situation they're in. And unfortunately, within other companies that are within this rideshare space, due to the media attention that they recently received, has made it unaffordable, which means that part of that service is kind of lacking within that community as well. And that's something that we want to eliminate, and rather, as an industry in general, rather than contributing to this problem, we want to create a solution in regards to this.
Mike, what are some of the strategies in general, specifically in the ride sharing sector, to acquire and retain the customers?
So we specifically within our company, within the rideshare industry, I guess for us, what has been the greatest unique selling point is actually our unique model, right? So no one within the Australian market has seen something like this within the rideshare industry. As mentioned before, everyone's being used to organizations using faceless algorithms to create a substandard price, where at times can take a massive hike and make it unaffordable for people. With our actual peer-to-peer model, passengers and drivers can actually negotiate on the platform. Passengers can select drivers based on their needs, whether that be the time, the price, the distance, the type of car they have. And drivers have full flexibility and full visibility on the trip as well. We allow all our drivers to see exactly where the drop-off pickup point is. They can see a map pretty much summarizing the route as well that they need to take. And they also have the option to either skip the ride without any penalty, or they can accept the passenger's offer or increase it as well. And this model that we've released into the Australian market, it has seen a significant growth since our launch in Brisbane in March last year. From that, we've seen huge interest from both passengers and drivers in regards to seeing a fair and transparent model within the market where both drivers and passengers can benefit from it. In addition to that as well, we also have, when we did launch, or still currently standing as well, we heavily invested into the market by providing zero commission for the first 6 months. And the reason behind this is that we want to ensure that both drivers and passengers can fully utilize and fully benefit from the services that we provide within the Australian community. In addition to that, we want to analyze the trends and understand exactly what drivers and passengers want within this rideshare industry. And then in addition to that, provide a solution, which is our unique model where passengers and drivers do have the flexibility of taking control of the rideshare industry. And from that, we've seen significant growth. And in addition to that, obviously, we use various social media platforms as well to portray that message in regards to why our company is different, why our company is unique, and why people should use our platform.
Right, Mike, you know that business development depends on the business model and on the financial model of the company. No matter if it is a startup company or if it is an established company, how do you define a business model and financial model, and how startup founders can define their business model and financial model? What tips would you like to give them?
So I think the business model, well, actually both. I think the business model and the financial model is purely dependent on the proposition that the company has to offer to its clientele, right? It's more about that vision, that idea, that goal that you represent within whatever audience that you're selling to, that really creates the spark, and that will, I guess, in a sense, develop the business and growth and increase growth and strategies towards attaining an achievable goal. From a financial aspect of it as well, it's more so about I understanding in regards to what the business can offer, and then basing that upon your clients and obviously your business needs. Meaning, say for example, you want to understand from a driver's, for our example, you want to understand from the driver and the passenger's perspective in terms of what they're exactly after. Create a model and strategize in regards to the financials of it, in regards to this is how it's going to look, this is what the roadmap is, and this is how we will plan to release these features throughout the growth of our business.
As a country manager, you know that you have to communicate with the multiple departments, even with the legal department, marketing department, sales department, design department, and many more departments. So how do you manage your communication, and how do you ensure that all the departments and are aligned with the central strategy and with the overall goals and milestones of the company?
So the one thing about inDrive is we're very strong in regards to our core value, and that's fighting injustice. We want to provide a fair and transparent product, which represents very well within the culture at inDrive as well. Our pretty much everyone that currently works at inDrive, and I do believe that our passengers and drivers also believe this, is that inDrive is kind of a platform where we provide to the community, we provide a solution, we fight injustice, and we provide fairness. And from this, all, I guess, everyone working, regardless of whatever sector is, strives towards this goal, strives towards bringing this culture and communicating this with other departments of the company. Specifically with me, see, the thing is, I'm very passionate about my job. I'm very passionate about the company, and I'm very passionate in regards to ensuring that inDrive succeeds within the Australian market. Not only just the Australian market, but globally. We want to create this brand to show the world what a different, I guess, what a different and unique model can provide, and the benefits and advantages from this as well. And from that, I think generally, without me putting too much sway in regards to, I guess, communicating with various different departments, it's just natural for us to communicate and be on the same page and work along the same goal in regards to creating a stronger business, a stronger marketplace within globally, actually, and also within Australia. Everyone is very passionate about what they do. Everyone strives for the best, and from that, there comes that harmony and that alignment within various different sectors as well, in regards to communicating with them and growing the business.
You know that in Australia, Uber is working, Ola is working, Go Catch is working, and some other companies are too. So, in such a tough environment, as a country manager, how do you ensure the competitive edge? What is the unique selling point on the side of InDrive specifically, and in general, how the startup founders and entrepreneurs can, you know, uh, be on the competitive edge?
So, uh, to bring it back a bit, so inDrive was primarily created by people for people. What I mean by that is that throughout the history of, I guess, the rideshare industry, a lot of people have, I guess, faced scenarios where um, prices have been too high, or it's become a service which is more suitable towards a luxury need rather than on day-to-day basis need. And from that, a lot of people haven't been able to experience what it's like to actually use a rideshare service. And that's where inDrive was founded, from that basis of, okay, how can we do something differently compared to what the rest of the industry is doing? How can we listen to the feedback or general complaints that a lot of passengers and drivers are stating within this marketplace? And how can we create a solution that best fits them, that best fits their needs, and that allows them to take control rather than purely allowing large organizations to take control and manipulate the price and not providing that fairness and transparency that inDrive does. The biggest difference between us and all our competitors is that we give freedom, right? And from that, generally within other rideshare companies or within this industry in general, um, passengers and drivers aren't given that freedom. Everything is based on an algorithm. Everything is based on certain steps that they need to take without having any flexibility, any say, any understanding of exactly how things are progressing within the rideshare industry, how they can be a contributor factor in regards to growing the industry as well. And that's why we've launched a unique model to kind of disrupt that market and provide a different solution to what the general community or industry in that sense is used to. And from that, in our unique model, we've seen a lot of barriers that both drivers and passengers were facing have been eliminated, meaning that the passengers have flexibility. They can select the pickup, the drop off point, put in whatever price they feel like it's worth it. So we provide a recommended price. And then based on that recommended price, they can either go higher or lower than that. They can select their driver based on their needs. Safety is something we definitely take into big consideration as well. We have a lot of features within the application where passengers can call the police or ambulance in case of emergency situations. They can share the ride location with a close family or friend. And they also have our support team, which operates 24/7. So, say, for example, in a case of emergency, when they select a shield button, which is what we have within the application, they can. Our support team will contact them immediately to ensure their safety and to ensure everything is okay. And equally, drivers get the same features and the amount of care that we provide to both our passengers and drivers. And generally, we provide that transparency to our users in regards to providing a model that they see fit. And evidently, since launching within Australia, we've seen this grow on a weekly basis. We've seen a huge intake in regards to passengers, a huge intake in regards to drivers, and the feedback we've been receiving is outstanding and phenomenal. We're so grateful that we have the support of the Australian community in regards to launching our product, in regards to them understanding our uniqueness, in regards to them understanding the benefits that we provide, and also coming along the journey with us. With our company, what differentiates, I think, is another factor that differentiates us between our competitors is that we work with our users, not against them, or we don't prioritize them as well. We want to ensure that as we grow, our users are also along the journey with us, because that's evidently what grows a business. I think within any industry, regardless of whatever industry you're in, but for particularly the rideshare industry and inDrive in general, what's helped us grow is the fact that we have clients that we can constantly communicate with that provide us suggestions in terms of I don't think this feature is working. I think we need to do this, or why don't we take a different angle? And from that, we've been able to derive and create a solution and an application that's well suited and fitted towards the Australian market.
Mike, as a team lead, how do you keep your team engaged, inspired, and motivated?
So, as the team lead, it relates back to the question we originally spoke about, which was in regards to the team goal. When we're communicating with various teams, what is that? How does everyone work towards that goal, or what is that main idea or ideology that a lot of people use to attain the goal that we want to achieve? And I think generally within inDrive, a lot of people really strive. Every employee that we have at inDrive really believes in the product, really believes in the solution that we're providing, and really wants to strive for the best in regards to um, launching this product successfully within Australia, but also globally as well. And from that motivation derives, the best way that we get hungry for and strive for our best, in additionally to that, is the feedback that we receive from our clients, right? So on a weekly basis, we communicate with all our drivers. We hold sessions where we communicate with them. We run through questions. They provide feedback. We provide them developments within the application as well. And from that, our team really gets motivated and uplifted because we can see that the hard work we're putting in is actually creating into great solutions, great feedback, and is actually creating a difference and a change within the Australian community. We're here to disrupt the market pretty much. And that's evidently been happening from the feedback that we're receiving from our users. And from that, that's where motivation and growth increases within the team to see that what we're doing is making a difference, to see that the hard yards we're putting in is actually creating a solution that's beneficial to our users. And from that, the business in itself grows, our clientele also grows, and then generally the team is uplifted and the spirits are quite high in regards to resuming the journey and continuing expanding and increasing the brand within Australia.
Mike, keeping in view the technology advancements, how do you see the future of ride sharing industry? What innovation do you think that new technologies would be bringing to this sector?
It's definitely a good question. See, the thing is, up till now, a lot of like within this industry in general, everyone has been used to a singular model. And from that model, a lot of companies have derived a business plan in regards to growing within this specifically Australian market. We're now seeing us being a new company that's launched with an absolutely different and unique model, um, has really shown a disruption in the market within Australia. And from that, we feel personally that this, if anything, would ideally be the trend down the track as well, where algorithms don't determine or dictate the price of a service, and rather come down to reality and provide a solution rather than a problem to the community in regards to how the industry should develop and should grow and should provide a service that is affordable to all. And I ideally see that's where the rideshare industry will lead to. And I can see hopefully within the future that the forums and the other competitors and the government can see a change within that and ideally work alongside rideshare companies to provide a better experience and a better solution compared to what we're having now. Because unfortunately, within this current market, the industry has been under the microscope for various reasons, whether that's due to safety, whether that's due to pricing, and that just isn't good enough. I feel like as an industry in whole, we need to work together to provide a better solution, a better pricing, and allow more fairness and transparency to both passengers and drivers within this rideshare space. So I'm hoping that's where the future will go. And I think ideally the trend will shift where rather than algorithms dictating the price, there'll be more fairness and transparency.
Right. So, Mike, my last question, in fact, not the question actually, what general advice, what message would you like to give to the new entrepreneurs, new startup founders, university students, and in general the business community and education community, any message that could inspire them? Anything?
Yeah, for sure. Um, for me, I guess one of the biggest life learning is if you believe in a product, if you believe in the company, if you believe in the goal and the ideology behind the company as well, no matter what comes your way, you will always achieve the best. Meaning that regardless of whatever company you join, whatever business you start up, whatever project that you take, believe in what you do. Really strive to understand the depth and the knowledge of that product or that service. Regardless of whatever you do, understand it. And then from that, really believe in yourself and really understand exactly what you can do. And that will lead you to greatness and that will help you succeed within the future as well. The other thing I like to also mention is that expect failure. I think failure is common regardless of no matter what job you do. But from that lies the greatest opportunity in regards to growth. You will find that from your failures, you will develop yourself, you will grow yourself, and from that, you will be able to provide a better solution, a better project. No matter what you do, you'll be able to improve yourself. And from that, that's how we learn, that's how we develop, and that's how we grow. And I strive all of you, to the audience listening today, is to believe in yourself. You can achieve your dreams. Expect failure, but don't be scared by it. Instead, embrace it, learn from it, and then grow from it as well.
Mike, trust me, it was really insightful, and I'm sure that all my audience will learn a lot out of this podcast show. Thank you so much for joining me, and it was really nice.
Thank you so much, Zahid. It's been a pleasure being in your podcast, and thank you, hopefully, for the audience for listening to us as well. I'm really happy to promote inDrive as well. I feel like it's a solution that's definitely out there within the market, and I think a lot of people will see the benefit and understand the goals and ideology in regards to why inDrive is what it is and how it's beneficial to the community. So, thank you for having us on your podcast, and thank you for chatting with me as well. It's been an absolute pleasure.